Testing 1 2 1 2. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Welcome back. Welcome back. This is Ola coming to you live from my Empire Pro Studios. Welcome. Welcome, 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 welcome. Let's round up that intro and let's get started. I've got some really cool things that we need to cover today. We're gonna have a good time. All right, welcome back. Welcome back. Now my monitor is bad. Okay, my monitor is bad. So I just want to make sure that that I'm able to monitor things and hopefully everything will be working fine. Let me just let's just make sure that we're able to do that here. 1 second. Fine. Let me just all right, great. All is well. Let's just make sure. All right, so welcome back to Man of Prestige. First thing first, let me just go ahead and appreciate everyone. If you're brand new here, you're brand new to the podcast, to the YouTube channel, to both YouTube channels. We have two different channels that we're kind of running at the same time. There's the Man of Prestige, where you're probably watching me live right now, which is basically has the long form, the full episode, right? And then also we have where we kind of chop up all the different clips, right? So either way, I want to appreciate you. There are a couple of things that happened this week. We had our first viral video. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and showcase that. I got to make sure that you guys can, let's see here. I just got to make sure that, let me just make sure that I'm able to operate things as far as audios are concerned, because Again, I lost my monitor. I'm gonna have to replace it over the next 24 hours or so, but either way, we're going to have fun. Okay, we're going to have fun. For now, I think I'm going to use this just to make sure that I am able to communicate with you directly, right? All right, great. Let's see here. All right, good. So we have a couple of videos that I wanted to play for you. Like I said, we have this video. We actually went viral for the first time since we started this channel. It's been a few months, and I'm going to show you some data. I want you to be a part of the family, so I want to bring you up to speed with everything that's going on. Today we're talking about beta male exposed everywhere, literally everywhere. Beta males, thanks to Will Smith, thanks to Mr. KORRA, OBIDI, Justin Dean, and beta males exposed everywhere. And gentlemen, we have to do better. Absolutely, we have to do better. I'm going to share some ideas. I think I have questions. You know, I have questions. Anyone that's teaching us how to be men online, right? I think it's high time we start asking them, where did they learn what they learned from? How did they learn their ideologies, right? Who was their mentor? What kind of experience did they have? They tend to speak mostly from worst case scenarios, or you know, averaging all 7 billion human beings together, right? That obviously doesn't work. That's not how life works, right? Everyone belongs in a circle of influence, right? So let me just make sure that audio is working well again. Everyone, let's see, 1 second here. I'm a little rough on the edges today, but we're gonna get through this together, right? Audio is working well. Everyone. All right, good, awesome. All right, so here we go. So they're always speaking from either worst case scenario or statistical data from a whole country or from the whole nation or from the world, and that life doesn't work like that. You're basically an average of the 5 people that are closest to you. So how could you possibly average all 2 billion men and then say, hey, this is how it's gonna play out? You don't do that when you go to college. You don't do that when it's time to aspire to do big things. So why would you want to do that if you want to aspire to have good relationships, romantic relationships? Why would you want to average all 2 billion men? That doesn't make any sense, right? But a lot of people are pushing things like that and actually trying to paint it like it makes sense, right? But you and I know that doesn't make sense. But again, in that same breath, I want to play. Like I said, here's what's going on with us right now on this platform, okay? Well, not that one, but this one. No, not that one. See, I'm a little clumsy. This one right here. All right, so this is what happened. I uploaded this video yesterday that you're looking at. In the first 4 hours, actually generated about almost 500 views, right? That channel had this is our clips channel, had about 224 subscribers at the time. So I'm sharing this with you because I want you to be a part of the community. I want you to know why we're working so hard. The goal here is that we want to I think I have a better idea to build a better community, starting by the individuals. You don't start building a better community by building from the macro. That's not how that works. You have to start from the foundation as individuals. We have to do better, especially men, because we claim we want to be the leaders of this society. We claim we are the leaders of this society. So we can't afford to stay pointing fingers. It's not going to help anyone. Pointing fingers is not the same thing as holding people accountable. Those are two different things. We tend to mix them together. But I want to carry you along with what's going on. So yesterday we had the first viral video, and let me go ahead and share this with you. Let me see here. I want to share the screen with you so you can get carried along with what's going on here, right? So here's the screen. This is our clips channel, I think. Yep, this is our clips channel, right? So let me just go ahead and reload this page, right? Hold on 1 second right there. Whoever is banking, please stop it. All right, so let's see here. Let's see. Let's make sure. Okay, good. I told you I'm a little clumsy today, but just stay with me. Stay with me. All right, so I'm going into my YouTube studio. So this is the Clips channel. You can see since yesterday we've had almost 100 new subscribers to this channel, 319 right now. But yeah, on this channel yesterday we had our first viral video, which is basically this video right here. That video since yesterday has had 6,000 views, right? So I want to say thank you if you just landing here for the first time. Thank you to you. I did the work, but you know, thank you. You comment and all those different things, and I want to appreciate you for being here, because we are definitely going to be doing some great things on this channel. Okay, but like I said, even in terms of click-through rate, it started from like 27%. But again, this channel is basically matching what we have going on the main channel. Let me go to the main channel and show you. So we have 319 here. Most of them here, if you're one of them, congratulations to you. Most of them here are not the same people that we actually started the main channel with. So I want you to do me a favor. I want to make sure that you're subscribed to both. Okay, this one has 335. So we have over 600 plus all together right now. I would have loved to have them both in the same place, but again, the Clips channel is basically 20 minutes or less videos, and this main channel where you're watching me right now is essentially the long form videos up to 2 hours, just me having a conversation but also doing the live taping. All right, and you can see that we're still it's still a struggle here, but either way, I'm not in a rush. We're just gonna keep having this conversation. All right, so I just wanted to bring you up to speed with that as far as what's going on the channel. Okay, the second thing I want to show you in this intro is this video right here. Let's take you to this video, and I'm gonna play it, and I want to know your thoughts on this video. This gentleman had something to say. Now, he's on the extreme other end of the manosphere's usual talking point, but just listen.
Ask something like that, seeing as how the only thing on most straight black men's resume is audacity. Y'all are literally the least qualified out of anybody in this country to lead somebody, but y'all always want to be in the front.
He's talking to black men. He said the least qualified. Keep listening.
But you know what? It's a special place in hell for a bitch like you that causes division amongst the entire community.
He just called black men the bitch. Let's keep listening.
People. Out of every subsection of the black community, y'all are the least educated and the most incarcerated. Please tell me what qualifies you besides the dick between your legs to lead somebody into anything. Y'all always want people to breathe life into y'all, but at this point, it's just pure necromancy, because we have no more life to give. Y'all suck the life.
All right, I have to take a deep breath. That's a lot. I'm a black man, so I'm starting to take it personally, but let's keep going again. Right? It's a lot, right? It's basically saying, hey, we are calling ourselves men just because we have a little something between our legs. Now, it's crazy, but let's keep going.
Life out of every fucking thing. I mean, let's call a thing a thing. Y'all want to be white men so fucking bad. Y'all see white men at the heads of their household, and y'all can't even get a household to be the head of. Asking women questions like, what do they bring to the table, when you don't even own your table, you rent it. Hell, that's even if you do rent it.
Oh my God. Now, I don't know what to do with this, because honestly, I do see a lot of young men that don't own shit yet, trying to detect what standard is supposed to look like, but damn, the generalization is getting to me. Let's keep going.
In your mama name. I mean, if we could call the thing a thing, y'all are the common denominator out of every issue that we have in the black community. Y'all are literally the root cause.
No, when you say every issues, he means the problems that we have in the black community. Now, I'm lumping all of us together. African in diaspora, African in the continent, right? We got serious problems, right? But he's saying black men are the problems. Like, is it crazy or something? But let's keep going.
Blame black women for fatherless behavior, but then fail to realize that the father is the person that you're not blaming. Y'all blame men for being gay and say, oh, you grew up without a father. Do you see how you just pointed back to the issue?
Whoa. Well, he went to the old gay issue. But anyway, that's we're not going to worry about that. But he's saying we keep pointing back to the issues. I have to agree with him on that. Every time you point fingers, it's about 3 of them pointing back at you. I mean, literally, like physically speaking, right? Now, do we do that in terms of the ideologies and what we're blaming? Again, he's generalizing, and I'm pissed off that he's generalizing. Let's keep going.
Y'all blame women for having too many kids as if they made them kids by themselves. You keep pointing back to the issue. Y'all be wanting people to hold y'all down, but at the same time, if they too good at it, then they too independent. Then you want to say, oh yeah, like you don't need me. They kind of don't. Maybe what y'all should start considering is that maybe our community is meant to be matriarchal.
Whoa, matriarchal? How did we go so far? All right. But anyway, he's making a point. We got issues. Like, everybody's suggesting solutions, right? Why not? He should probably suggest his own solutions. Everyone got a camera. I got a camera. I got a microphone. So I should suggest my own solutions too, right? I mean, everyone is doing it. Why not, right?
I just can't accept it because it doesn't fit into what the white man has told you to believe. You're trying to do everything that the white man does, but you're just trying to do it in black. It's literally the same shit. I mean, y'all are the most homophobic, the most misogynistic.
Oh, we're getting to the root. This guy, I think this guy is more concerned that he feeling like black men are homophobic. Well, a lot of people are homophobic, not just black men. So, I mean, well, why isolating a bunch of black men? But anyway, let's keep going.
Most transphobic.
Well, here's the thing. He's a black man too, right? So maybe I should relax, drink some water, and not take it too personally, right?
The most colorist, the most texturist, like the most xenophobic. And you are the most likely to date outside of your race. Y'all are a walking contradiction and a walking joke, and it's not funny. I always want to talk about breaking generational curses and building generational wealth, but you don't even have life insurance. Anytime you die, we got to do a damn GoFundMe. Y'all can't even die right. Y'all been trying to stick this square peg in a round hole for centuries, and it just doesn't work because you're not meant to be the head of the household. You were never meant to be. That's why the shit doesn't work.
Anyway, so I call this video Fuck the Data speech. I call it Fuck the Data. He's doing essentially the same thing that the manosphere does, except that he's doing it from a polar opposite direction. Either way, it doesn't help anything. Majority of the manosphere talking point doesn't help anything because it, for the most part, generalizes everybody based on data that are not properly interpreted, because they're interpreted as blanketing everybody into one box. The problem with that is that the society has different subsets. You live in your neighborhood, I live in my neighborhood. I belong to a group of people in America. I belong to what people consider Africans in America, right? And you may just belong in a group of people called the African Americans or foundational Black Americans. I mean, your influence is you're probably influenced most by the people that are closest to you, not just by the whole world, right? So it doesn't really make sense to be blanketing people in the same. So he's committing the same sin. Is committing the same sin that the manosphere tend to commit, which is basically to blanket everyone into the same space. It's fallacy. It's basically stupid. It doesn't make any sense to interpret anything that way. Even the scientists, statisticians, mathematicians, they don't do that. There's something called subsets. There's something called weighted average. They don't just average everything together. It doesn't make any sense. And yet we tend to do stupid stuff like this. And that's a problem. Hi, Brianna. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, we are going to be covering quite a few bases together today, but yeah, that's my intro. Today I got a couple of things I want to cover. Let me tell you what I'm about to cover today. Okay, I'm going to do some comment reactions, some comments, about 2 comments that I want to cover today. Also, I'm going to give you 3 reasons why you lost your woman. I'm going to give you 3 reasons why you lost your woman. As a matter of fact, Oshay Duke Jackson, right? I don't know what his title is for the manosphere. He claims he's leaving the manosphere, but it's bullshit, basically, in my opinion. But anyway, I'm going to add one more reason to that. He gave 2 reasons that I kind of agree with, but I'm going to add one more reason to that. Also, number 3, Nigerian women are always feminine. American, Black Americans, foundational Americans, every time I say, hey, I'm a happily married man, one of their first excuses like, but you're married to a Nigerian, right? Oh yeah, so you don't have the problem that we have. Okay, we're going to talk about that today because we're going to feature a lady called Nkechi Blessing, and I'm actually going to show you a real life example that's basically a stupid excuse to not assume the lessons that I'm trying to share with you. Okay, the other thing I was about to say number something, right? I'm also going to give you real life examples how Will Smith exposed the beta male real simp generation completely, we're all over the place. It's nasty, it's messy, it's stupid, and I'm gonna call it out for what, because I love us and I want us to do better, right? I love this community, both men and women, and if we're leading, then we're gonna have to step up our game. It's not a one-day event. We're gonna keep doing this, right? But anyway, Will Smith exposed the beta male generation, unfortunately, and I'm not talking about himself, right? Will Smith, the weak man generation, meaning it's not just a situation of having weak moments. We're talking about people that basically move in just weak ways, right? We're going to cover that. We're going to talk, there's a couple of things we got to cover. August Alsina, we're going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about the rule versus exception thing. Everybody want, yeah, it's the rule versus the exception. Would you say that's the exception? We try to make these stupid arguments that really doesn't apply to human beings. I mean, the other day I had somebody compare an airplane, like a aeroplane engineering to human beings' behavior. It's just ridiculous. Again, I'm going to have you ask everyone that has something to say online, ask them who is their mentor. I'm going to share with you one of my mentors today. I have a few of them. I'm going to share with you one of them. Majority of them are digital, as in virtual, but I'm very careful. I discern with who I call a mentor. But there are many people that are mentors that don't know me personally, but I know them. Also, there are people that are not necessarily popular. They could be literally 15 years old that are considered mentors, because just when they say something, it's not them deliberately trying to train me, but I pick up like life lessons from everything around me in real time, right? And that's what I pride this channel in as well. Real time, we're looking at it, we're looking, observing, and then we're extracting the lessons out of this situation, right? And has Jada done a terrible job in protecting the masculinity of Will? Is she even responsible for that? Right? Is she even responsible for that? So we're also going to talk about that as well. All right. So with that being said, if you are a man, like most of these men that are loud on the internet right now, if you operate in your feminine energy, right, this is what's going to happen to you. I see, I used to play this when I first started, but then I kind of forgot, but I need to play this right now, and then we'll play the intro, and then we'll get started with today's topic. Is going to be phenomenal. Let's go.
Hey! 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 Yo! With me, nigga! What's wrong with you, nigga? Come on! With my glasses! Get off of me before I drop your goofy ass again. Now beat that, bitch ass nigga. Pay for this shit. Hurry up.
No,
pay for that shit and hurry up before I drop your ass again. Touch me, get on the drop.
Stop video before they help me. You got my key.
Somebody help you.
What's the point of all of that? The point is that feminine men will tend to attract masculine women. Okay, let me reframe that. If you're in your feminine, you may have feminine moments. There's a good chance you're going to attract the masculine out of her, right? It's not an indictment. It's just natural. It's just the way these things work. It's not something that you get to be deliberate about, but you can be aware. And just being aware is basically 85-90% of the battle won. Let's get started. And these are sizable books. They are minimum 200 pages. You can download them absolutely for free. By simply going to, for example, this one, you just go to getmymarriageback.com, smartrealestatewholesaling.com, realestatemoneysecrets.com. So yes, I am a 3 times author, and those books are out there for your consumption, and they are also available everywhere on Amazon, anywhere that you pick up books. So in case you prefer a physical book like that. All right, welcome back. So let's have some fun. So I got this title right here. Let's go ahead and touch that. We call it 3 reasons. Okay, let me put that on the screen. 3 reasons why you lost your woman. Okay, and Oshay Dick Jackson had a video that he released. I watch his stuff honestly religiously because he's covering some of the hot topics. Some of them are just gossips. A lot of them has lessons, and this was one of them. I forgot which one of this title was, but this was the clip from it. So I'm giving him credit for all fair use, okay? But let me play this video for you really quickly, and then we're going to talk about it. It's going to give you 2 reasons why most of the people in the manosphere lost a woman. I'm going to add one more to it, okay? This one more is not necessarily something that was already done, but potentially it's going to happen to you if you keep soaking up all the information in this place without going through proper healing. Let me play for you.
Woman, you lose her, and usually dealing with a woman, you lose her, and usually men lose women through some fault of their own, through weakness.
All right, so this is the part where we call Oshay Duke Jackson. We typically call him a simp because he said you lost your woman through a fault of your own. Some people hear that, they instantly go in the direction of, he's a simp, right? Oh yeah, so it's just men's fault all the time, right? We're gonna talk more about that. Let me keep playing.
Through, not setting boundaries or letting folks overstep your boundaries.
That's the first one, not setting boundaries. I agree with him on that, right? Now, let me go back. Let's slow it down a little bit, right? Let's go back, okay? The first reason is through weakness, a fault of your own, okay? The second reason is by not setting boundaries, right? Let's keep going.
Not setting boundaries or letting folks overstep your boundaries. And you really want to get that kind of person back, which I would really say that you don't. Just look at who they end up dating next. Look at them fall off.
All right, so now let's talk about it. First of all, through your own weakness. So again, if you take an offense to that or you read that as condescension, that's part of the problems, right? Because again, you're more excited when you hear me rooting for you, rubbing your back and saying, yeah, you did well, it was her fault. The problem with that is that there is no growth in that. There is no room for you to grow. You're stagnant. Basically, I made you feel good about yourself. Maybe I'm even right. Maybe it's actually her fault too. But it's really, when you think about romantic relationship, it's never really one person's fault. It's both yours fault. This is not a business relationship. Okay, it's not somebody betraying you and stealing money and running with it. It's basically two people subscribing to a romantic relationship, meaning you give them the permission to take your heart, put it together like this, put it on the floor and stomp on it. Literally, that's the risk you're taking when you engage in a romantic relationship. No, fuck that. When you stuck your dick inside a person, you're literally giving them the permission. No, let me repeat that. If you put your dick inside somebody's mouth, you're literally giving the person to chop it off. Did you ever think of it that way? Okay, so again, let's back off a little bit. The point here is this, okay? You engage in a romantic relationship with a woman, with a young lady, you're giving her permission to do you anyhow. Not necessarily deliberately, because again, remember, she gets caught up in the emotions. She probably had butterflies in the beginning. She's having a good time. She was also excited about the situation, right? But with that comes certain prices. It costs, right? It can cost you a lot, because when people get caught up in the emotion, either for good or for bad, there's no logic, right? Or there's minimized logic, right? And basically people can act anyhow they desire, and you don't really get to blame them 100%. You can give them maybe 50%, because they're also an adult and they should also learn how to treat people that is kind of serving them in an emotional way, right? But you don't get to. So it's a weakness of yours, is setting boundaries. And here's the third one I want to add on to that, is the wrong ways of setting boundaries. A lot of you think setting boundaries mean being loud. It means being stern, right? A lot of you think setting boundaries means setting boundaries for other people. Setting boundaries never means for other people. It means for yourself. You set your own boundaries. This is what I can afford. This is what I can tolerate. And the only thing you can control in that equation is yourself, not other human beings, not even your own kids. Did you get the memo yet that you can't even control your own kids? Not in that manner. You can influence them, right? You can show them by example how to move in life. You can teach them by example. As a matter of fact, majority of the way you're teaching them is by example. And when it comes back to your romantic partner, the only thing you're able to do is influence them. And it's if you know how to engage that power, it's an extremely powerful power to have. When you learn how to engage such a skill set where you're able to influence other people, it's an extremely powerful skill set to have. And if you think you can control your household, you're not able to control your wife. If that's how you think, that's exactly why your relationship is falling apart. Or it's already fallen apart, already fell apart. That's exactly how you lost your woman, because it's not even about her, it's about life. You think you have control, you don't control shit. Nothing, right? You can influence, you can reorder things, you can move, you can make good choices, you can make a series of good choices over time. And overall, we can say you had a good last decade, you had a good life. But This is how you know that you don't control shit. You make mistakes, you fuck up sometimes. You make mistakes, right? No, you don't. That's cap. You do make mistakes like the rest of us, right? So that is a problem right there. When you start to, when your mindset is set up in a way that you think you're actually controlling something, that is the problem right there. That right there is the problem that many people don't pay attention. So what's the first one? Your own weakness. You get into a romantic relationship with a person, already you're kind of weak, right? But you can now start to engage certain power with skill set and learning how to leverage the trend of that ocean, that beautiful feminine energy that you just got yourself entangled up in, right? You can learn how to use that ocean trend and work your way and leverage it in the direction that you want your life to move. Or you could say, I'm in control, let me just be loud, let me put her in her place. And then you know what you do? You fuck up the whole shit. Then you lost even more control that you really never had in the first place, and it just gets worse. That's exactly how you mess up. So I wanted to have that context right there to what we're talking about here really quickly. All right, so that's the first thing I wanted to cover. What's going on, J Bones? What's going on? All right, so let's go ahead and move on into the next segment really quickly, because I want to be a little bit, get into it today. We have a lot of base to cover today, so let's get. These are sizable books. They are minimum 200 pages. You can download them absolutely for free by simply going to, for example, this one, you just go to getmymarriageback.com, smartrealestatewholesaling.com, realestatemoneysecrets.com. So yes, I am a 3 times author, and those books are out there for your consumption, and they are also available everywhere on Amazon, anywhere that you pick up books. So in case you prefer a physical book like that. All right, so let's get into this other video. Let's go. So there's this lady. All right, let me remove this. All right, there's this lady that her name is Nkechi Blessing. I'm going to show you a picture in a second here. Her name is Nkechi Blessing. All right, there's a lot that I've seen in the last few days. I'm going to show you some nice African attire too. Right, how's that? All right, there we go. Right, there she is. Right, that's the lady I'm talking about. Let me show you. This is her right here. Okay, this lady right here. Right, she's an actress. She's a Nollywood actress. What is Nollywood? Some of you may not know what Nollywood is. I'm hoping you do, but if you don't, now you know. It's Nigerian movie industry, which is the second largest, I think, in the world, second to obviously Hollywood, only second because of revenue, right? In terms of volume, Nigerian is number 1, and they're all over Netflix now. But this lady right here, she's an actress. She got married not too long ago, right? Not too long ago. The reason why I'm showcasing this in particular is not necessarily to, the truth is that we don't know anybody's personal story. The only thing we see is what they put out on the internet, right? That's the only thing we see, right? But we can also learn a lot of lessons from what they put out on the internet. It's a lot of lessons we can learn from it, right? Basically, she got married. I don't know. I don't know the timeline. It's got to be in the last 2 years, right? And I keep telling you that I don't know this dude personally, but this is definitely a weak beta moment. I can only speak to men that have beta moment. I don't know their overall lives to be able to say, hey, they're a feminine man or anything like that. I can point out feminine or beta moments, right? Like, hey, that's a beta moment right there. That's a feminine energy right there. I can point at things like that, and I will usually do that from a result standpoint. That's in the results they've created that we can see. And I'm not going to predict their future because I'm not God, right? All right. So actress Nkechi Sunday, I guess that was the guy, spills more dirty secrets about her estranged husband. So what I want to do right now is I want to play some video from this. Shout out to Instablog Nigeria. They do a fantastic job at giving us access to some of this. So this is what she said. She said, "How are you different from me, bro?" She's talking about the ex-husband to be. You and Shadi, who is Nick knocking, would they knock one woman? Okay, I had to kind of like translate pidgin English for you. Would they knock one woman together for same bed? That means you are having sex with the same woman in the bed. They see una two bola means to see each other's two dicks, both two men basically having sex with it, basically running a train on a woman, right? If I say you be gay, right? I beg, I do bad things. So now she's basically accusing indirectly the man of being an homosexual person, right? Not that we know if anything is wrong with that, but hey, to each his own, right? I beg, I do bad thing. That means, did I do anything? Same thing you wanted to do with Uncle Toby. He declined. She's accusing her ex-husband. Now, for those of you that think only black American women can be unruly, or you think only the group of people you belong to can be unruly, it's not just black people that say that. There are white people that say that, believe it or not. They think that women are the only ones that could be unruly, right? It's just something I see in every group of people. Everybody think the grass is greener on the other side, right? Now, the problem with this is that we kind of expect that women do this. That's kind of sad. But again, that's feminine energy. They get in their feelings. They throw shaming, insulting, right? Because of needs to be right, guilt. They throw all this kind of thing. The sign language, they throw it everywhere, right? But it's not just women doing it, right? As a matter of fact, in this particular situation, the husband started it. But again, if you think only a certain group of people can be masculine, you're wrong. This is a Nigerian woman doing this right now. Now, again, she's having a moment. I'm just letting you know that when you generalize, you're not helping yourself, okay? Because a group of subsets of people have their own problems, right? And for as long as you continue to generalize, you don't really get to the root, or you don't get to the solution ever. You're just basically stroking your own dick, and you never really fix anything. Your life is just going to get worse, at least from a romantic standpoint. All right, let's keep going. I'll go reply you till next year. Okay, so she's saying she will reply, honorable way no get ordinary duvet. That means honorable that doesn't have ordinary duvet, pillow for in bed. Anyways, she's basically throwing insults at this dude, right? You shouldn't be surprised. No be like this, it is swear for you every day. Even in the relationship, it's basically coming online, all right, to abuse the ex-husband. So
money I made from influencing was what I used to build that bungalow. You went to use fake page to DM a blogger that you built my own house for me. You get money.
All right, so
Now me, you won't come.
let me pause. Does that look like a feminine woman to you? Now, I know some of you, my audience, you're Nigerian, some of you are African Americans. I'm talking to you African Americans right now, or Americans in general, that you feel like only your women can be masculine, because Allah married the most feminine woman in the world. He's been married for 15 years. He's happily married. He's full of shit. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Now, here you go. I know you don't have any other content creator showing you this kind of examples. Again, nothing to knock her. She has her reasons for acting like this online. She literally turned on the camera and she's throwing her whole life. She thinks she's throwing another person, right, under the bus, but she's actually throwing herself under the bus. Anytime you come online, I don't care what your partner did to you, right? When you come online and you put your partner or your even your ex-partner on blast like this, you're basically dragging yourself. These people online don't give a shit. It's a lot of weird people online don't give a shit about you. They will just drag you, use you for entertainment, right? But you will have to go back home and sleep that night and have to deal with what you've done to yourself, okay? And the internet never forgets. Right?
Build house for. You get money. You don't build house for your mama. We born you, mama. Your mama don't get car when she dey drive. You when say you don't get one cover, you won't come build house for me. Are you?
She's saying, do you have money? She's talking to her ex, to be ex-husband. I don't know if they will get back together. Hopefully. Do you think so? I don't know. Who knows, right? But anyway, she's dragging her ex-husband. She has 12,000 people watching live, and she's dragging this young man. I'll show you the young man in a second, right? And well, you already saw the picture, right? Because he did his own. He actually started it. He goes live all the time, right? She's basically saying you never built a house, because I guess the guy claimed that he built the house. He built a house for her. Now she's saying you never built a house for your mother. How would you build a house for me? She's an actress, like I said. She's popularly known. She's fairly big in terms of her brand in Nigeria and in the Nollywood world. A lot of Caribbeans watch Nollywood movies.
What shake my phone? Because I kept you quiet, I don't want to talk. Which reasonable man will come on Instagram live every day? You call yourself an honorable.
She's saying what reasonable man will come on Instagram live every day, right?
Not every day, morning and night. You dey for live video. You want like me when they follow the
Now we could go on the internet and start digging up the dictionary meaning of feminine energy and masculine energy all day long and through your own definitions. I'm just asking you as an individual, does this seem like a masculine energy or feminine energy? Feminine energy is neither right nor wrong. It's just a beautiful chaotic energy that needs the masculine energy to create sexual polarity, right? Because it's chaos. It's a beautiful chaos, because sometimes we need variety too, right? We need the creativity that the feminine energy brings to our space. But then to create that synergy, that sexual polarity that you and I crave so much for, unless you live in a cave, right? Like, never mind that you don't want to be married anymore. You still want love and connection, don't you? Emotional, basic human need, right? In order to create that, you need both. You need that beautiful chaos and you need the masculine structure, safety, security, and then it creates that magic, right? So, but what you're looking at right here, right, coming from a typical woman, right? How would you define this? Is this beautiful feminine energy right here? Would you want to engage this? Anyway, let's keep playing.
You go there for live video. I kept complaining. A lot of people keep saying, what kind of a guy is Nkechi Blessing dating that does nothing but...
All right, so modern women, you even have people telling you what kind of guy you're dating, but you never listen, right? Do you? Right? So again, as much as we gentlemen want to blame the women, in a few minutes you notice that the viewership just went up by 2,000 people, right? People like drama, right? You think they just love you, right? When you come online, you put yourself on blast like this. No, it's entertainment for them. Now, I don't want this to be just entertainment. My point here is 2 lessons. Don't do this to yourself. Don't do this to yourself. But again, a masculine energy coming out of a woman is usually not just out of the blues. Okay, that's not how it works. Okay, never mind what you heard from your favorite guru, right? Oh yeah, man, women are just no. It's usually there's a masculine being who sowed the seed somehow into that. She's basically multiplying what she received. Typically, there are crazy people out there, but typically it's because she's multiplying what she's received. That's how it works. Just start looking around you, use that same ideology and start looking around you. Anytime a typical woman start going crazy, is usually attached to some kind of seed. Doesn't mean you're wrong. It's just something you should be aware of, right? You could have sown that seed by being weak, or you're too loud. Bottom line is that you lack emotional intelligence and you lack social intelligence usually.
Live video. Okoyemi, I try to talk. You say I'm trying to separate you from people. You say I'm not wanting you to associate with...
That's a typical accusation. When people get together, now they're trying to force the other person to disconnect from their friends. They usually are not trying to do it deliberately, but we have people trying to do that deliberately. I was on a panel the other day and somebody said you should drop all your single friends when you get married. I'm like, wait, what? That's how that works? What kind of resentment are you trying to build? If they really want to drop this friend, you think they will get married to you? No, they wouldn't. Oh, but that's the wise thing to do. You really think? Did you really assess all of that? Well, again, people are throwing all kind of stuff all over the place just because they think it's an easy solution. There's no easy solution to romantic and emotional issues. It's something that you have to handle layers by layers, and you have to learn how to listen in real time to people's emotions, not their words, but their emotions.
My colleagues, the same colleagues that you have almost scattered me and all of them, saying all of them want to...
Anyway, I just wanted to show you that, for those of you that thought, oh, it's only African Americans that act unruly. First of all, my experience with African American women is always feminine. They are very beautiful, just like any other woman in any part of the world. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just the kind of energy I attract from them, right? I don't know. Maybe I don't know any better. Maybe I'm outdated, right? But these are the questions that you actually want to answer in front of a mirror, okay? These are the questions that I would definitely suggest that you answer in front of a mirror. Don't try to answer that to me. You're not going to be honest. There's a good chance that you won't be honest with yourself first. What's going on, Mr. Rocker? Thanks for stopping by, brother. Absolutely. Prenup first. I'm in agreement with you. That only gives you defense, though, financially. Let's keep having the further conversation. Right? All right. So yeah, so that's that right there. They're everywhere. That's all I wanted to say to you. Masculine women in every group in the world, okay? Or let me say they are created in every group, and especially now that the rest of the world is actually everyone is westernized. It comes with civilization and westernization. People have choices, and with choices, as beautiful as that sounds, that has downsides, because people have a false sense of freedom, right? They think they can do anything anyhow. Everyone is trying to be woke. Essentially, what that means to a lot of people is that I could do whatever I want. In real life, that's not realistic. Now, you can avoid reality all you want, but you cannot avoid the consequences of avoiding reality. That's going to lead to self-destruction, and we can see that everywhere right now. All right, so let's move on to the next topic, please. Let's go. These are sizable books. They are minimum 200 pages. You can download them absolutely for free by simply going to, for example, this one, you just go to getmymarriageback.com, smartrealestatewholesaling.com, realestatemoneysecrets.com. So yes, I am a 3 times author, and those books are out there for your consumption, and they are also available everywhere on Amazon, anywhere that you pick up books. So in case you prefer a physical book like that. All right, welcome back. So hopefully that wasn't playing too much doubles, but the next thing I want to do right now is I want to play this video for you. And we're talking about how Will Smith exposed the beta male real simp generation. I don't like using the word simp because it's about a bunch of lame ass people that have multiple definitions of the word simp. So as a matter of fact, I'm literally going to officially remove that word simp from that, right? And anytime you see me use the word simp is because somebody used it, and I'm calling a simp a lot. Usually the simps are the first one to call out simps. It takes one to recognize one at this point in time, because again, it has like multiple meanings, and but it's usually people use it when they disagree with you, right? So instead, let's just talk about how Will Smith exposed the beta male generation. All right, let's just talk about that. There's this video I want to play for you. Let me just make sure that audio is good. And this I don't know who this person is, but they put themselves out there. And I'm also going to play another video again. This guy I consider one of my mentors, because I read his book, and I think I don't agree with 100% what he says in his book, but I think that book is a fantastic book. I recommend that everybody reads it. His name is Corey Wayne. But I'm going to let him respond to this guy. But let me play his video first,
the rest of the world. A lot of people are going to say that what Chris Rock said was out of line. A lot of people are going to say, wow, poor Jada. Wow, Will Smith really acted crazy. What they won't say is this. This is what happens when your spouse is a beta female. And she...
All right, so wait. He, in his mind, he thinks everyone else is not saying this. Okay? I think I know 2 other people that have my opinion about this Will Smith and Jada situation. I think I know 2 other people, right? And if you look at the results that we're creating in society, in terms of, is the society deteriorating or is it building? Are we having more divorce situation, or are we having less, right? Are we having more single parenthood houses, or less, or is it more, right? Let's look at the results we're creating, right? And let's look at majority of the opinions that you've seen thus far, right? And you can see that these opinions are polarized, right? People feel like women should be defended. Some people feel like, nah, beta female. He just came up with his own term right now. He called it beta female. What the fuck is that? The fuck is a beta female? Oh well, let's continue, right? Because again, right now he's in his own head. He feels like he's the only one that has this opinion. Now you and I know that there's a ton of people that had this terrible opinion so far, but let's play.
She has emasculated a man, belittled him, embarrassed him, deceived him, neglected him.
He deceived him. Jada deceived Will Smith for the past 25 years, right? Because we saw two weak moments from this couple, right? The red table talk, terrible moment. The going up there and slapping another man, terrible weak moment for Will Smith. Putting your family because of a stupid woke moment to tell your secret out there to lame people on the internet that don't know what to do with such information, right? Terrible moment. Because of these two moments, now we're going to define what 25 years was, right? By some randoms on the internet, right? I don't know who it is, but I'm also going to show you a video of people that are not necessarily random, that literally hundreds of thousands of people follow in a second. But again, in my opinion, the bigger lesson in all of this is that Will Smith has exposed a bunch of weak beta male generation, and we need to do better. We need to do better. The reason why these men are crying, yes, I used the word crying, I'm sorry, okay? That's what it sounds like to me, I'm sorry. The reason is because it touched a nerve. You felt emasculated by a woman before, and you refuse to address it and go through proper healing. Instead, you're projecting. Let's keep going.
Abused him mentally to where he feels that he has to seek any opportunity, where he's finally had it up to here with her saying,
typically it's women that accuse herself of abusing them mentally. Now we have a bunch of male people, a bunch of men, let's just call them men, right? Accusing women of emotionally abusing them. Are they right? I don't know, right? Because I'm not assessing them like that. I'm just saying we have too many men accusing women of being emotionally abused because they are presented with a romantic entanglement conflicts, right? They lack conflict resolution, right? They yelled at the woman, it didn't work. They found out finally that yelling at the woman doesn't work in 2022. They have to increase their skill set, but nah, fuck that. These women need to shut up and listen. And that's still not working, right? And then they turn around and then point the finger, not just at that one woman, but every woman they get an opportunity to point finger at. Let's keep going. Women, I have your fair share. I'm coming, okay? But let me talk to the gentleman for a second, right?
you're not a man. You're not a real man.
Oh, they're always able to move ahead of you. They know exactly what we're about to say when it's time to hold them accountable, right? They knew I was about to say they're crying. They knew about to say, who hurt you? And then they are like, what do you mean hurt me? Motherfucker, like, no, I'm just calling you out, right? No, we are spirits. We have incredible radar for bullshit. If you're being hurt and you refuse to go through healing, especially women can pick that shit up. The only reason why you attract that phrase from a woman who hurt you is because you're showing up with feminine energy. Just take it from me, all right? Don't argue with me. Argue with the guy in the mirror. Let's keep going.
And putting their chaotic marriage on blast every chance she gets just to get attention, because she's not half the actress as he is an actor, not half as famous as her.
Now, is he right about that? You know what? He can be right. He can actually be right about that. I don't know if he's right because we don't know shit about that 25 years marriage, right? But he can actually be right. Maybe he's right. Maybe he can see through based off of that 2 weak moments, right? But you don't win romantic game. You don't win leadership by trying to be right. You win by actually leading. Did you get that? You don't win by trying to be right. You don't win by competing with women for the need to be right. You win by actually leading. Okay, you're leading more so with your silence, with your demeanor, with the way you handle yourself, with your self-control, right? But every time you see a marriage break apart, you're literally not looking for lessons. You're looking for a way to blame the woman. You just look at you. I do that too. I'm guilty of the same thing. I'm looking for my own biases. I have to tell myself, like, wait, stop. And it's still extremely difficult to not look at things with their own bias filters. But let's keep going.
Husband is. So she emasculates him, belittles him, degrades him.
No, he didn't go on the stage and just go and slap that man. She emasculated him. Never mind what just happened, the actual event. She emasculated him. This is what a bunch of men. See, I'm playing this white guy for you because some of you black men thought it was just a black people thing. No, there's a lot. It's everywhere. There are men who didn't go through proper healing. So anytime they get a chance to point fingers, feminine energy, they do exactly that.
Publicly. I can only imagine what actually happens in that house. To where he...
No, wait. I thought you knew what happened in the house. Why are you imagining? Just you know exactly what happened in that house. Why? Because you could relate. You were a weak man. You probably are a divorcee. There are a ton of divorcees that I know that are grown men that have gone through proper healing, and they are strong men, and they know that it's completely self-destruction to point fingers at your ex-wife. They know this because they've done the work. But of course, majority don't do the work. Right, and here we have. If I was to predict, if I was to bet $2,000, this is one of it. I don't know him personally. This is one of them. Now there are married men, right? Usually they're young. It's too early for them to be able to tell. That feel like they're married too, and they can just have the same stupid opinions. It doesn't work. You're dealing with another human being. Right? That's not how to lead human beings. You can lead dogs that way, yes, sure. But in 2022, you have poor leadership skills. Let's keep going.
Finally is so fed up that he would be reckless, illogical, forward-thinking.
This is what children and, sorry ladies, women do. They never do anything wrong. They blame it on the man. They blame it on someone else. No, it's his fault. That's what little people do. Okay? But we have men know. This is what happens when you're fed up. You just go up on the stage and you slap people. Does that make any sense? Does that make sense to you? But if you've ever had any opinion sound to this guy, this is how you sounded. Just so you know, okay?
Respond to where he would commit possible career suicide to get her nod, her approval, her grace, her...
So they always exaggerate. Exaggeration is a lie, by the way. They exaggerate the situation. Commit career suicide. This is what the feminine energy is expected to do. If you have any kind of masculine frame left in you, you really should not be talking like this. I'm sorry, you shouldn't be. You're not solving any problem. You're sobbing, you're crying like a little bitch, and I don't know I don't know who's gonna help you, because people run from this. Women are definitely not gonna help you. You know what they're gonna say? They're gonna say, "Who hurt you?" That's what they're gonna say, and it's consistent. You think it's just consistent? You're creating that result all by yourself. Right? You're sowing that seed, and you know what the feminine energy would do, and it's very beautiful, chaotic, natural essence. It will receive it and multiply for you. And that's when you hear things like, "Who hurt you? You had your heart broken." It's obvious. If you don't know yet, it becomes extremely obvious, at least to some of us, right? It's obvious.
Love bombing. This narcissistic, bipolar woman has made this man...
Can't make this shit up. Shout out to KS.
Where he gets up there and he even says the abuse, and you got to take jokes, and you got to take abuse from people.
He's just been a man who was being honest in that moment. He had a weak moment, but he is a strong man. I'll tell you that much. He doesn't have time to be shooting videos about how women have hurt their men. He probably doesn't have that kind of time. Right now, it's kind of silent. It's a nice vacation for Will Smith. He made a boo-boo. He made a terrible mistake, right? It's a very nice vacation that he probably wasn't going to have, because he's a hard-working man, obviously, right? He had a weak moment. But you took that moment, you ran with it, start to project your own bullshit to the rest of the world based off of that, right? You're calling his wife bipolar, narcissistic. She could be all of this stuff, but does this guy really know? Right? You know what they say about people that assume? They make an ass out of you and me. Well, not me. Out of yourself. Assume. Right? Assumptions are terrible. Men don't make assumptions. If you look at all of the assessment of all of this Will Smith situation, is a bunch of assumptions. The only thing we know is that he allowed his family to do that stupid woke progressive moment of that red table talk. It was absolutely unnecessary because you're giving ammunitions to lames. Basically, second thing is going on that overreacting, off of social media rhetorics. But see, men are able to say, I can be weak. They're okay with saying I can have a weak moment. And that's what he did on that stage. But of course, a lot of people cannot relate. Most people cannot relate, sadly. And then we're looking at why do we have the situation that we have public right now. Hey Tawana, how you doing? How you doing, beautiful? Thanks for stopping by. Yeah. So let's keep going.
He wasn't talking about Chris Rock. He was talking about the abuse that he gets from that woman. That's why he was crying.
Now we have men speaking for men. We have men speaking for men out of pure assumption. It's weak. We need to do better. That's why the society is deteriorating. Listen, I know you have to listen. I know, I can predict this guy. I can basically tell you his life story right now. You know what I'm still not gonna do? I don't know him. I'm not gonna assume. Because I could be wrong. There's always a chance I could be wrong. And men understands that and they don't make assumptions. But we have men, because they're hungry for dollars on the internet, they're hungry for that next shock moment, right? They want that viral video, right? They want their own viral video. They make stupid assumptions online and their dick get hard off of roasting women online every chance they get. This has nothing to do with right or wrong. It has everything to do with the results that this society is creating, and that's what I am talking about. I'm talking about the results we are creating. I'm not making this shit up. The society is deteriorating. You're saying it. You're actually more focused on how the society is deteriorating. I'm more focused on until I stumbled into this space. I didn't know, because I'm having a good time. I stumbled into the space, to be frank with you, because I got exposed to the algorithm, because I had my own experience too. But I went to look for healing solutions. I knew that the last thing I would be doing was competing with women. But I get it. Not everyone is like me. But oh yeah, feminism movement. We need to create our own feminism movement. Do you know what you sound like? You sound like a bunch of weak. It's basically sausage fest, man. It's annoying. It's annoying, right? Let's keep going here.
He was hurt deeply. Can you understand that? How deep this man is in pain?
How deep this man is in
Because of this
pain.
woman? He laughed at the joke at the first, didn't he?
Because of this woman.
Spouse are sitting.
It's the
6
woman's
feet
fault.
apart. You call that a close relation?
They were sitting 6 feet apart. Let's talk about that for a second before we move in too further. Let's talk about that for I'm going to show you this real quick, because before I come back to this lame dude right here, right? Let's see what they were sitting like, right? Will and Jada at the Oscar, right? Let's go take a look at that, right? They were sitting 6 feet apart. He said, right? Let me just look for an image, right? Does this look like they were sitting apart, or this was a sitting arrangement for the Oscars? All right, so again, assumptions. Okay, I'm not going to make the judgment here, but you that you're watching right now, does this look like they're sitting apart, or this is everyone kind of sitting apart? Could this be COVID arrangement, regulations and stuff? Is that the 6 feet apart? Could that be? Oh, let's not worry about this one, right? What about the young lady, Lupita, that was sitting between them, right? Okay, this is another one. There's a young lady sitting between him here. What about this part where they are holding their arms together? I'm actually seeing this for the first time, right? Let's look at this. Let's see if we can look at it a little bit bigger, right? Right? Yeah, everybody's looking at the slap. But again, I didn't even have to look at this to know to know that, yeah, you're exaggerating stuff, right? Let me see here. I'm trying to see if I can copy image address and just, right? Does that look like they're holding hands? Now, everyone has been looking at the different angles, right, of of the camera, right? Yes, if you're looking at the other angle, it looks like Lupita was sitting between them, right? But it looks like they're holding hands here. Now, I'm seeing this for the first time. See, grown men always make assumptions of best case scenario. Little weak men always make assumption of worst case scenario. They're either looking at data with one lens, their own personal projection of their biases on it, right? And and that's basically how they look at life. They went through some kind of hurt, they never healed, they never went through the proper healing, right? So they project the world like that, right? But strong men always assume, if they have to assume at all, they assume the best case scenario. Because again, when you make assumptions, you make an ass out of you, and you look stupid, basically, right? I'm saying no one else is sharing this picture. I just literally Googled it in front of you. We've got a serious problem. Let's keep playing this video.
Where they got a whole table to themselves and sitting 6 feet apart from each other.
6 feet apart during COVID. But it's Jada's fault. We have serious problems. I didn't know that we have this much problem until you pointed it out to me, by the way, Manosphere. I didn't know. But since you're pointing it out, let's keep talking about it, because we're gonna figure this out, gentlemen. We have to figure this out. It's not looking good. Why do men do that? They're making too many assumptions. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's annoying, to say the least. But when I say annoying, I say that lightly. It's, I'm good, But again, we have a society where I'm raising kids. I'm raising 4 kids. I want to make sure that the society is healthy for them as well, right? So we're going to continue this conversation regardless.
Really? Really? He laughed at it. He thought it was funny until...
Oh, he thought it was funny. Could that just be a plastic smile that everybody does at the Oscars? If I was to make an assumption, I would make an assumption of best case scenario, which is that was a plastic smile. The worst case scenario is that he was smiling and then suddenly looked at this evil Jezebel wife's face, and then boom, the evil went inside of him. He decided to go and slap another man. That's the worst case scenario. Only weak men make such assumptions. I'm talking to men. Only weak men make such assumptions.
Jada showed that look again. Like, all right, don't say anything. Let me be embarrassed again. Don't say anything. Wait till we get back home. Wait till we get back.
This is exactly what happened to him. It's projecting. He had a woman that would, maybe body language. Wait till we get home. He attracted masculinity out of women. That's when you see, it's consistent. I say it all the time. You attract masculinity out of women, you assume every man does that. It's natural. But the point is that you're not just trying to be, are you trying to be a natural woman, or you want to be a man? Right? You gotta rise above your natural instincts, because the society we live in obviously is deteriorating. You find yourself in a manosphere, you're gonna start repeating stupid talking points in no time, because you're a human being like the rest of us. You gotta protect yourself, right? This guy really thought it was talking any kind of sense. I'm about to put the Poor Man podcast on blast in a second. I really like him. I've heard him say some really cool things, but it's looking bad.
Home. You know that abusive spouse look, where a lot of men get that from.
No, I don't know what abusive spouses look like until you start to tell me right now. I'm guessing you're about to tell us. Tell us, Joe.
Their wives, and ain't nobody talking about it. To an alpha male who's been taking care of his family from day one.
Wait, an alpha male attracted a masculine woman. Is that possible? Yes, but they don't stay together for 25 years. Dum-dum. They don't. It just can't work. The polarity won't be there. It's natural. You don't get to decide that. They can't stay together. Now, unless you're talking about alpha lion male. If we're talking about human people, we're talking about Will Smith. It's no way. I'm about to show you an example. It's no way Will Smith would have attracted a consistently masculine woman. It's just literally impossible. Literally.
It's felt to be an omega. like he ain't shit. When he looks over, he sees his spouse give him that look of disapproval, like, all right, okay, wait till.
I'm not gonna dig up the video again right now, but she never rolled her eyes, not in my opinion. See, I'm African. If you see rolling eyes, ask Jamaicans and ask African women. That's not rolling eyes. You call that rolling eyes? That's just dumb. That's not rolling eyes. She was looking, she was gazing into the sky. She gazed away from Chris Rock and she was gazing into the sky. That's all we have. If you have another video, show it to me. Again, strong men assume, I'm not calling myself strong man, by the way, but but you get the gist. Weak men always assume the worst case scenario. It's assumption of worst case scenario all over the place, right? Let me see. Tuana said, do you think Jada is to blame for how Will reacted? Listen, I'll be honest with you, Tuana. I expect women to blame other people for how they act. I don't expect men to do that. That's not something that real dudes, that they do. Okay? They don't. Okay? We can't afford to point fingers. We just can't afford. It's too much to lose. A man that has something to lose cannot afford to spend any level of energy on pointing fingers, because when you point fingers, it takes a certain amount of energy, right? And that's energy away from building yourself, from continuing to, part of building yourself is to check in the mirror and make sure that's not my fault, right? And even when it's not your fault, you hold yourself accountable and responsible, and you indirectly hold other people around you accountable by doing so. Because people that don't belong there just won't fit. That's just how this shit works. They won't fit in that equation. They will find their way out. Jada would have found our way out in all those times. She tried, did she? She did try to exit, right? But it wasn't possible. Not because Will was weak, contrary to popular opinion. It's because that's a strong man, actually. Yes. Okay? As a strong man, he's had a series of weak moments. All the woke shit is weak. He needs to stop it. He needs to stop all the weird, weak, oh yeah, everybody, let's be honest, let's just be overly transparent bullshit. You don't need to do that with this generation, because eventually they're going to drag you, and that comment is going to affect you and then pull you weaker. They're going to drag you to their own energy, which is what they managed to do. So if I were to blame anybody for Will Smith outside of him, it's him. But if I was to really blame somebody, I will blame all of these weak men on the internet that has been dragging him. Okay, that shit will get to you at some point. We're all human beings. Remember I said that to when we're all full of shit. Okay, we can't act macho and Superman. At some point you're gonna be weak, and part of being a man is to acknowledge that sometimes you can be weak, and make sure that you have proper structure around yourself. It's just for weak moments like this, or when people start to decide to drag you. At some point, my channel is growing. At some point, somebody's going to attempt to drag me. I'm going to tell them suck a dick. Right? So I'm sorry, but it's all good, right? Let me keep going here.
On his night, knowing that he was nominated for Best Actor, not her, she's going to be Best what? Best what? Best what? She's created so many enemies in the industry. Only reason why she even gets gigs is because of him.
So is Jada the only black woman that doesn't have as much jobs anymore? I mean, there are a ton of them that complain about not getting jobs. I think most of them don't get jobs. How many superstars Ali Berry do we know? Oh, but somehow it's just Jada only because her husband just went to slap. I'm being sarcastic because they're too dumb. Sometimes they don't know how to read sarcasm too, right? I'm being sarcastic. It doesn't make sense to blame a woman for your actual physical act. It doesn't make any sense, right? It doesn't make any sense.
His influence. On his night, she had to push the final button on this man one more fucking time because she felt slighted. Comedians make jokes.
Now this white man wants to protect Chris Rock. He's going to protect Chris Rock better than us other black men, right? Now, see, Tuana says, why are men of no color giving their opinions on this topic so harshly? Because they all the same. It's just the generation of men that we have right now. We have work to do. that it's not a black thing. I know when we get caught up in our own echo chamber, we think the behavior is just attributed to only black people. It's not. It's human behavior. How the story is being told is different from people to people, from group of people to, it's like from Africans to African Americans. It can be different how the story is being told, but it's really just the same story. That's all. It's just how we express ourselves can be different. So he could relate. That's why he was a weak. I hate that word. He was a weak man, right? He had an experience that he could relate, and he anytime something remotely looks like it, he's going to assume it's the same scenario.
A good joke. That doesn't even matter. It could have been any joke, people. I feel sorry for Will Smith.
Yeah, feel sorry for yourself. Feel sorry for yourself, you know. Right about now, I want to play a video of one of my mentors. His name is Coach Corey Wayne. I don't agree with everything he says. I probably agree with 96, 97% of everything he says. I said, when you're listening to a guru, ask them who their mentors are. If they tell you, I don't have a mentor, I'm just, that's your first cue that they're full of shit. Okay, I have mentors that are 15, 16, 17 years old because they tend to say some things that makes me think a little bit deeper, right? But one of them is this guy right here. I'm going to play his video for you.
Narcissist.
Right? And his name is Coach Corey Wayne. I saw one other lame-ass dude that was bashing this dude because of the way he talks. You never listen. So there's exceptions to every rule. That's true. But sometimes you listen to content long enough, you know who belongs. So I'm a product, firstly, of my father. My father is a very strong, very wise man, right? But because it was my father, right? When I had my own crisis, right? When it comes to romantic crisis, they all think they're the only one that ever had it, right? My father wasn't capable of helping me because of the bias. It's default, because that's your son. It's my father. So even if he was saying something that made sense, there's a good chance that it's the man that raised me, I would probably not listen to certain things he doesn't know, or vice versa. Maybe, you know, he couldn't, because he was feeling certain level of empathy for me that he couldn't really tell me the real deal, right? And the first person that really told me the first truth was my uncle, was a big uncle to myself. And he, you know, I complained, I said all of these different things that she did wrong, I was so right. And the guy, he let me finish. He was so smart and wise to let me finish what I said, and he would say, leave her alone. I didn't get it. I did not get it when he was saying it. He said, leave her alone. But anyway, eventually I stumbled to a few people. One of them is this guy, and I was able to really put a lot of things together with my own, obviously, personality. And it makes, welcome back, babe. Yeah, and I was able to put a few things together, and it made sense. And with all the results that we're seeing all over the place, it makes even more sense. So he's speaking to the Will Smith situation. As a matter of fact, the first video he shot, I was like, what is he talking about? This is going to be one of the few times I disagree with him. But listen to what he has to say right now.
People saying, oh, well, Jada's a narcissist, and, you know, poor Will is the victim. I mean, at the end of the day, the great Don Shula said, strong men blame themselves, but weak men blame others.
Oh, whoa. Strong men blame themselves, but weak men blame others. Okay, weak men, here's what they're going to do at this point. They're going to start shaking. Like, what the fuck? It's always meant to be blamed for everything, right? Well, what's a better way to show that you're a weak man? Okay, relax. 30 seconds. Process it. Okay? Process what he just said. Okay, it's not about the word blame. Context, right? Shall we, gentlemen? All right, let's try that again. Right?
And, you know, poor Will is the victim. I mean, at the end of the day, the great Don Shula said, strong men blame themselves, but weak men blame others. And so that's why I see a lot of, you know, the guys, you know, trying to point the finger and say it's all Jada's fault. It's like, no, what a man does, a man says, this is my fault. Because Will Smith is the one that invited Jada into his life. He's the one that proposed marriage to her. He's the one that went through and married her. He's the one that stayed with her. He's the one that agreed to the open relationship and allowed it to continue. No one will ever do or say to you.
All right, you see the angle. It's an angle is coming from the reason to come from that angle It's not about right and wrong as always, right? It's not about right and wrong. It's about what's the angle that gives you the best leverage as a man to build yourself. To not give unnecessary admonitions to people outside of your control, including your wife. See, when you play the victim, you cannot in the same breath play victim. Now, I'm not saying being a victim. I'm saying playing a victim, right? See the difference? You can actually be a victim and not play a victim, right? You can acknowledge that I was a victim of certain things, but decide not to play the victim. When you play a victim, you disengage from your power to actually order the direction of your life. That's what he's talking about. It's a matter of context. It's a matter of perspective. It's a mindset issue, okay?
That you don't invite them to do. So to point the finger and say, oh, well, it's, Jada's abusing. Well, you could say that, but at the end of the day, Will Smith enabled.
Wait, you could say that, but at the end of the day, that means in reality, that part that you're trying to avoid, that you always say, hey, that's not real. No, the reality, that means the result you create, right? In reality, right? So you can avoid reality all you want, but you cannot avoid the consequences of avoiding reality, right? See, like your shadow. Every time you look around, there's always a light on you, and your shadow is like, there you are again, right? You can't run from this reality. You can't. It's just the reality, which is when we say at the end of the day, say everything you want. See all that guy that run his mouth all day long earlier? You could say everything you want, right? But at the end of the day, let's hear what he says.
Behavior. And he's the man. He's the stronger one. He's the masculine one. And as a man, and
as a man,
I teach, everything that happens
what
in
I
your life
teach
is a result of your best thinking.
Not everything, your best thinking. It's a series of events. There is no one event that makes up your life. It's basically what you're consistent at, right? And if we know anything about Will Smith, he's created a beautiful life for himself. Like, you can't really deny that for him and his wife. Right now, you happen to have lost your own wife, or you're going through a terrible situation with your wife, and instead of you approaching healing, you're looking for people to relate with. In any remote way you hear any story close to that, you just grab onto it. It's like, yeah, I knew it. You're not helping yourself, okay? You're not helping yourself. Everything this young lady, or this lady, 50-something-year-old lady, had to say has been interpreted. Recently, she said, somebody said, she said, I didn't need protection. So a bunch of people wrong with that. Oh, this means that she didn't need protection. Like, come on, man. Where's your masculine frame? Damn.
About it. And so when someone says, oh, it's the narcissist wife, it's all her fault.
The bipolar wife.
That's how men think. That's how beta males think.
That's how beta males think. You heard it. Okay, this guy is nice. It's just he has 500,000 followers. It's not about the followers. I mean, most people don't follow the people with the right words to say anyway. But he's actually proven over time that he knows what the hell he's talking about. Oh, by the way, he's not married. It's just the content that makes sense. That the content is congruent. It's consistent with the results that you're creating.
That's how soy males think.
Soy males.
Alpha males don't think like that. Alpha males go, obviously I must have done something. Maybe I didn't pre-qualify her properly. Maybe I was weak. My thoughts.
Something. We're not asking you to just blame yourself. Some people, the weak males right now, they go for the statistics. That's why men are deleting themselves. They go for the worst case scenario. They just assume the worst case scenario. They disengage completely from the lessons. And I'm saying that to shame you, to get your attention. Come back to the lesson. You play a victim, you disengage from your power. You attract masculine energy from women. You create worse results than what you already have. You need to go through proper healing. Stop listening to people that resonate with your nerves, okay? And engage what you need to do to build yourself, because it's only going to get worse. Majority of you are not going to build a followership of 200,000 people online. It's a few weak males that are doing that successfully. It's negative, so why not? But majority of you are not going to be like that. Your personal relationship is going to get worse though. You gotta be careful with what you're listening to out there. You gotta know how to see. Men from where I'm from knows how to compartmentalize entertainment for, oh yeah, that's just scap, that's just cruising. But a lot of these men are they are internalizing everything. They're taking it back to their personal relationship, and they're effectively destroying them. And they're struggling to build 100 subscribers on YouTube. I can say that now because I have 600. Right?
On some level, I did something to invite that person into my life, and I allowed them to stay in my life. And
that's power. That's
I
power.
didn't hold her accountable consistently. That's the big problem in all this. Because there were times in their relationship, especially early on, where he held her accountable, where literally he was going to end the relationship over the communication issue.
Hey, let me not spend too much time on this. Go find him. It's fantastic. Man, go find him. Listen, some people consider him purple pill. It's bullshit. Who gives a shit what color of pill it is? As long as you build the life you want, right? And you're helping this society. I don't give a shit what kind of color of pill it is. But his name is Corey Wayne. Let me actually put his name on here because I actually think, I don't mind, just find him. He's on YouTube right there. He has like 500,000 subscribers on there. And he posts consistent video all the time. That's him right there. Now, in terms of consistency, there's this guy. Let me go ahead and play it right now. That he's consistently showed himself, to be exactly what it is, right? Let me go ahead and show you right here. Let's see. Boom.
You know Esther Perel is coming to the table. She's going to be at the red table. Would you say she has been...
All right, let me show that to your screen really quickly. This guy right here, he's been consistent. He had a few weak moments. Everybody's running with it, and they want to drag him. He got to him. A bitch slapped another man for that shit. But it's sad. Chris Rock, my guy, ended up in the crossfire. That really wasn't for him. I agree 100% with that, right? But let's play this video.
You know Esther Perel is coming to the table. She's going to be at the red table. Would you say she has been instrumental in you and I redefining our relationship?
I would say don't just start filming me without asking me.
Oh my goodness.
If you could film me.
Esther, come help.
Whoa, does that sound like holding someone accountable? Oh no, Will Smith never held her accountable. That was a moment. Now, that moment that you saw there, see weak men or men in their weak moments, because I actually like Poor Man podcast. Men in their weak moment always assume the worst case scenario, and this was his video. He's assumed that this was this woman again trying to emasculate. He's assuming the worst case scenario, and watch it. Just keep watching.
Help us again, please. I'm still dealing with foolishness.
Oh, she said I'm still dealing with foolishness. You don't say that to people you love, just banters. We don't do banters anymore. This means she's emasculating him. Again, assumption of worst case scenario as opposed to best case scenario. Why do you make assumption? You don't know the facts. You and I don't know the fucking facts. The only fact we know is that this couple are still together. They were holding hands together earlier. I showed it to you, right? They're kissing. All this, they're just all pretending, right? Because you don't know shit, right? You and I don't know shit. The only thing we have is what we know, right? But I'm making assumption of best case scenario. You're making assumption, not you, but you know what I mean. Weak men are making assumption of worst case scenario because that speaks more to their nerves, right? They can relate better with that, right?
No, because she don't just...
Would you say that she helped us heal the hurts that we caused between one another?
My social media presence is my bread and butter, okay? So you can't just use me for social media and not, don't just...
Now, to me, I'm not even going to say this is him holding her accountable. He's just playing along with the banter between the two of them. Oh, by the way, if you've never experienced that before, when two people are in love, they do that, right? They throw banters, they're sarcastic, right? They're not arguing with each other, they are sarcastic, right? A little sarcasm. Some of you don't know how to play along with a little banter, and then you you're wondering why she's showcasing so much masculine, because you don't know how to just relax, drink some water. It's not, life is not that deep. You're too serious. That's why you're always assuming worst case scenario. You're too serious about life. Life is short for every single one of us. It expires. And you're busy wasting all of your energy on negative shit and negative assumptions.
Start roll. I'm standing in my house. Don't just start rolling.
Please watch.
All of this, another man with his own house basically assumed that she's trying to get attention for her social media and shit. Why making so much negative assumptions? Oh, somebody said this is me defending Will Smith. No, I'm talking to you. You're making an assumption. I chose to make the best case scenario assumption. I'm looking at the glass. Oh, there's so much stories. Oh, the daughter wrote a letter to Tupac. Okay. Oh yeah, that hit you so bad, hit your insecurity so bad you can't contain. You lost your masculine frame when you heard that, including freaking Rollo Tomasi.
A stare at the red table because she's helped us a lot. Can't you tell?
The day after her 37th birthday, I hired a team to orchestrate her 40th birthday.
Every man that has any experience in marriage have gone through this moment. You do something so great for her. That's just not her love language. Why did they write the book 5 Love Language? And then you have to fall flat on your face to learn how to actually love a woman. Some people never get there. They just assume the woman is just evil. Oh yeah, no. We know 5 love languages. This is not one of them. I know, because you're assuming the worst case scenario. You still don't know shit. The question is, what is the lesson in this for all of us, the general public? Considering the fact that we don't know nothing about this 25 years marriage that's still going strong last time we checked, right? The timelines actually show him as defended his marriage many times. This was, let's see here. Let me see here. I mean, they've had so many assumptions in the past. Let me see if I can show some of this here. Oh, this is where we should stop. This is terrible. Nah, oh Lord. These people, right? This was their 20 years when they celebrated 20 years a few years ago, right? The point here is that, listen, this marriage could be in a terrible situation. You're right. But you don't know that. The only thing you have is, I guess, August Alsina. The secret is out. Right? That's the only thing you have, right? There's a particular tweet here that I'm looking for here. For people who says that she's never really protected him, right? Let me refresh this page really quickly. I'm going to refresh it. Under normal circumstances, I don't usually, this was 7 years ago, right? 7 years ago, right? This is Will Smith tweeting about 7 years ago. Under normal circumstances, I don't usually respond to foolishness because it's contagious. He's right. See, I wish he really thought about this last week, right? But so many people have extended me their deepest condolences that I figured, what the hell? I can be foolish too. So in the interest of redundant, repetitious, over and over againness, Jada and I are not getting a divorce. I promise you all, if I ever decide to divorce my queen. Oh, some people's nerve just went in the negative direction when they saw that. I swear, I'll tell you myself, dumb people should have to swear Scarlet D's. This is how she responded. This was 2015. My king has spoken. Oh no, they're not gonna show this. This is what they're going to show. Let me show you this is what they're going to say. Let's go back to what they will say. Let me actually scroll to Poor Man's Podcast. Extremely poor submission bullshit.
Go. Crushed.
It basically followed
Dear
his father,
Tupac,
the Kevin
I
Samuels.
know you are alive someplace. I think that mommy really misses you. Can you please come back? Can you come back so mommy and me can be happy?
This is one of the things that I fought Will Smith for. All this woke nonsense. It's okay for my daughter to write letters to Tupac, even all this nonsense, right? I can't really fault him, but these are the things that, because again, you don't get to control everything. No matter how much you think you're in control, you're full of shit. You don't control shit. You can only influence. It's actually better and it's much more powerful.
I wish you were here. I really do. Love, Willow. What I just read to y'all was a letter written from Willow Smith to Tupac. Tupac was dead before Willow.
So a young chick, not chick, she was young at the time. This letter was from a few years ago, right? And she wrote a letter to somebody her mom called a best friend, and you completely blow it out of proportion. Now, personally, I understand why that may sting you. I would probably not appreciate that too if I was Will Smith, but it's not really that deep. Why do you take life so serious? Why do you take life too seriously? Why is this that everything's got to be sad, negative, worst case scenario for you? Oh, you're not part of a community. Maybe if you see what's going on, you're full of shit. You're full of shit. I was raised in a village. What are you talking about?
Smith was even born, so they've never even met. So what is Jada Pinkett-Smith telling Will Smith's daughter about him and another man that she's been with that makes her believe that if the other man was alive, she and mommy would be happy? It's obvious that Jada Pinkett-Smith is the source of
the same repetitive talking points, just repetitive nonsense, assumption. Everything is assumptions. Am I saying their marriage is not in a terrible place? No, I'm saying you and I don't know that. You're making worst case scenario assumptions. I'm choosing to remind you that you don't know shit. Focus on yourself. Focus on learning how to build a romantic relationship with a woman. A lot of you are in a relationship, in a marriage, you know it's terrible. And you know that we'll still find out eventually anyway. I'm not talking about poor man. But poor man, I don't know, he has 425,000 subscribers. He's probably speaking to the talking point of his followers. But I won't doubt it if this is how he thinks. Only time will tell. Again, results. Will Smith has been married for 25 years. They were holding hands together. You saw that. No one is willing to showcase that because that will speak against the rhetorics, right? Yeah, you and I don't know anything about this, right? So anyway, I think right about now, I think we've done a good job of really of breaking this down. I think there's another video that I want to play. There's another lady, for you young ladies, there's another person that I think you should follow, okay? That I think is good. Her name is Chloe _ on YouTube, right? I'm gonna play this video, right? And then we'll take it from there, right? Because I think it's a fantastic video of her talking about this old Will Smith thing. And she had one of the most balanced opinions about it as well. Everything else that I've seen is just, yeah, you gotta be careful what kind of people you listen to. It's not about Will Smith and Jada. It's about your outlook on life. It's about your perspective, your mindset on life. If you're just always thinking negative, you will attract more negative, right? In results. When it comes to a romantic relationship, I'm not talking about a law of attraction when it comes to your bank account. That's not what I'm talking about. In romantic relationships, the energy you bring to the table, especially if you're the man, it will be multiplied by the chaotic feminine energy of Mother Nature. You control that indirectly or directly, but if you're not aware, it's just going to be complete chaos everywhere, right? So let me go ahead and play this video and then we'll take it from there. Let's see.
A lot of women are talking about Will protecting Jada's honor, but did his wife, Jada, protect her husband's masculinity?
Did the wife protect the husband's masculinity? This is for you ladies. That is a real thing, okay? I can speak, I was talking to my wife earlier today. And naturally, see, this is what I expect from a woman. She went into the empath mode and wanted to defend Will Smith. A lot of men get surprised. Why are you surprised? Again, you haven't taken the time to learn how women operate, right? And then you have to blame yourself for that, okay? But anyway, she naturally, and I reminded her, I said, listen, I've seen you defended me because it looked like a certain narrative was coming off as I'm a weak man. I've seen you multiple times over the last 18 years jump up and defend. That's essentially what it looks like to protect your partner's masculinity. Because again, if they drag your partner, if you drag your husband or your boyfriend, if your family, for some weird reason, maybe you told them something wrong and they decide to drag your partner, you're not going to like it. It's still not going to feel right. Even though you were looking for support when you said what you said, it's still not going to feel right. And some of you have experienced that, and you didn't like the feeling of your partner being dragged, right? Because it's essentially it's a piece of you that's being dragged. At least it was your choice of a man that was being dragged. And that's something we can hold the Jadas out there accountable for. You have to be aware. It's hard because you're speaking out of your own emotions. You're saying things like entanglement. You're making, like, for example, you're talking about your sex life. Like, you're saying things like, I forgot the exact narrative, right? Yeah, something about you couldn't tell your partner couldn't satisfy you. Anyone who has had any experience in life with any long-term relationship will know that that's a real thing. It's not an indictment on your sexual abilities. It's just something that happens when people have been together for a while. It's kind of like it gets watered down, people get complacent, and then they have to rebuild it, and they have to you ever heard people rekindling their sex life? You never heard that before? Exactly, like one of those, right? That was what she was commenting on. She wasn't exactly trying to drag her husband, but okay, she did. She can also be a little bit more aware that when you do that, people potentially start to look at your man as weak, and if he gets dragged too much, it affects you as well. And that's what Chloe was talking about here.
She got a little too sloppy with her cheating, to the point where she has had to publicly confess to her open marriage agreement for millions around the world to see. And we know we would not like.
So far, I haven't really seen any kind of like solid thing where she confessed, but there's been rumor. It's probably true. Who knows, right? But either way, it doesn't matter. They're together right now. They're not in open relationship as of the latest, right? Right now, maybe they used to be. Maybe they lived that Hollywood lifestyle, whatever, right? But that's completely neither here nor there. It has nothing to do with nothing. But she's right. You came out in the public, and ladies, be aware that you really don't have to do the woke progressive nonsense, tell everyone my business. You don't have to do that. The internet is vicious. They will drag you. They will punish you for trying to be transparent with them. And their own dirty laundries are worse. Okay, just letting you know that, hey, just because you're transparent or honest or all this shit don't feel entitled. Okay, all right. Same thing for men.
Ladies, if it were the other way around and Will got busted, or are we just not ready to have that conversation at all?
They're not ready.
I've always said this on my channel, but a marriage is a sacred bond where two become one. And for those of you who are listening, who are married or who are engaged to be married, or who plan on being married, a marriage is sacred, is worthy of protection, and when you invite outside...
Marriage is sacred and worthy of protection, okay? What Will should have been protecting was the marriage. The way he could have protected that marriage was to remain calm, cool, and collected, and swallow that hell. In life sometimes, and he did a lot of that, to his credit. For 30 years working in straight line, took a lot of L so he could win, and he's a winner, and he won that night. He's still a winner, by the way, right? So, but he lost. That L was a little bigger than it needed to be because he overreacted, right? That's really the lessons there. And gentlemen, know that you can absolutely lose a lot of credibility for little short-term L's, right? There was this episode that I had on the lead attorney channel that he was like, "Oh, you lost the credibility." I was like, bullshit. That's forgotten. That's gone into the past. You as a man need to know that you have multiple chances and you're always in control. If you want to be in control, simply by not overreacting, simply by not don't assume worst case scenario. Slow down completely from assuming worst case scenario. It doesn't help you, right? All right. So, but she's right that she's also done a poor job of protecting her man's masculinity. But the truth, at the end of the day, like Corey Wayne said, don't count on other people to protect your own masculinity. That's your responsibility to hold on to that frame as many times as you could. Sometimes you're weak. It's okay. Part of being masculine is to acknowledge that and just know that completely going out of your frame and blaming other people, pointing fingers, is what weak beta male, that's what they do. That's what they do. You saw it in the manosphere, transpired over the past few weeks. Everybody got out of their frame. People were leaving manosphere. People were charging at each other, doxing each other, threatening each other to come out to the event to come and whip people's ass and stuff. That's people going out of their frame in the same community that's supposed to be training men how to be men. Right? So you're not going to run from your shadow, no matter if you're pointing fingers. If you're in the habit of always pointing, especially pointing fingers at women, you are running from your shadow. You are not facing reality, and you are going to enjoy the consequences of not facing reality. Okay? You can avoid reality, but you're not going to avoid the consequences, right?
Energies into your.
Yeah, so that's Chloe right there. That's somebody I recommend that has a good balance of what it takes to be a feminine woman in this time, not in 1960, in this time, right? I recommend that to all the women out there, right? So those are yeah. There's a few other channels. Tawana is really great at dissecting this stuff. To check her out, Tawana G, her channel as well. There's a few other people I would recommend, not too many, to be honest, so I want to relax and slow down on that. But as I find them, I'll let you know as they come along. Definitely, women, stop spending so much time in the manosphere, because what will happen is you start regurgitating men's talking points and it's false. You're lying to yourself. I appreciate advocating for men, but it's not real. Okay, women and men are different inherently. Okay, you can't force that. Okay, let's just be honest on that. Okay, I need you to be a woman, and if you have point of contentions, right, I need you to say that out like as real, so we can actually address it, as opposed to sugarcoating it by repeating our talking point. It doesn't help. It actually makes things worse for us, because the society at large will not give us that kind of grace. We need to make sure we're engaged in our power, and by basically rubbing us down and stroking our egos in the wrong direction will not help. Okay, we want you to be women, okay, and that's what we want you to remain as. Okay, can being a feminine woman be trained? Can you be coached to be a feminine woman? Depends, but it's not going to be a one-time event. You learn some talking points. It's something that comes from the inside out. It's probably already in you, but hanging around certain energy can help you pull it out, and hanging around certain other energy, you're wasting energy completely in the wrong direction. Okay, so let's be guarded when it comes to that. Let's see here. I think we have one more main video that I wanted us to react to here. So when people talk about rules and exceptions, and do you want to make rules based on they think they're the smartest because they bring the data to the table and all that stuff. Basically, we're about to debunk that. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to play this short video for you, and we're about to debunk that all the way. They're full of shit, okay? Because even math and science does not assume that one average makes everything. So let's play that right now really quickly. This stupid argument, yes, it's extremely stupid. This stupid argument about exception versus the rule that manosphere students and echo chamberers tend to bring up when we're having real life conversations, I think it's time I debunk it. Don't you think? Right? Now, you're not stupid, right? But there's a good chance you're stuck in a stupid echo chamber somewhere, a subset of manosphere. Not the whole thing, but for the most part, from what I'm seeing, it looks like it's mostly stupid. I'm sorry, okay? Now, let's talk about it. Exception versus rule. A grown man, okay, it's got to be at least over 21, which is a grown man, okay, came on a stage on Clubhouse and asked a young lady, another young lady, and said, hey, do you think the society should be judged based off of exceptions or the rule? Now, just in case you don't know, some of us, right, when you say stupid shit like this, we can tell. We know exactly where you're coming from. We know you're coming from the echo chamber, okay? The manosphere, some of them, right? You repeat the same talking points over and over, and I'm going to be debunking them, okay, as we go along here, and you can go ahead and you call it what it is, but I'm hoping that you have your listening ears and you're ready to at least process what I'm trying to say, okay? Should the society be judged based off of rules versus exceptions? The young lady, an extremely wise young lady, said it should be on the exceptions. All right. Now, let's break this down. Now, he was shocked. He was completely shocked. He was like perplexed, like, because he thought he had a gotcha moment, right? But he was shocked. And wow, it's like no wonder the society is breaking down. The people that claim to be the leader are falling apart because they hear something that doesn't sound like a straight line, like a square. They forget that human beings are not, by the very nature of it, by the very nature of Mother Nature, is not a square. The feminine energy, the Mother Nature, is not a square. It's something you need to study and learn. And if you're going to bring structure, safety, security, masculine frame into the context, you need to understand this, because if you don't understand this, you will get in your feminine, you get offended, and you never get it because you're operating on a straight line. Okay, so here we go. Okay, even engineers, right? Even project managers, even statisticians, right? Is that a word? Mathematicians, right? They understand that they cannot neglect the exceptions. They understand that yes, we can make some assertions off of the rule, whatever the majority is, but they understand that just a little 5-10% exception can absolutely destroy the structure of a context. They understand that 5% can become a tipping point to change the dynamics of any ecosystem or any context, or the dimensions. They understand that. So as much as you like to show up and say you're the mathematician, you're the logical one, you fail the moment you bring that argument of rules versus exceptions into a romantic relationship, which by its very nature is chaotic. The idea of romantic relationship is that we're hoping that you're bringing some kind of masculine frame to add some structure to it, to make the feminine energy, whoever is carrying that, make them feel safe and secure, right? But you're busy getting in your feminine energy and you're calling it logic because you want to operate off of the 80%, 90% rule. You're thinking in straight line. You're thinking like a square. And this is why you struggle with women. This is why you're struggling with your romantic relationships. So that's one. So when the young lady says, you judge it based off of the exception, he was confused. He didn't understand it. Like, listen, the majority is the majority. Yes, you can set some rules based on the rules, but you're not going to be stupid and pretend like the exception does not exist. Not especially if you're dealing with human beings. Wait, not especially if you're dealing with a woman as a man and you claim to be the leader. Wait. Not especially if you're dealing with a romantic relationship, which by its nature means you stuck your dick inside somebody, meaning you lost your frame for a second because you're in love, at least in that moment, right? Meaning you're at risk, right? You put your dick inside somebody's mouth. That means they can literally chop your shit off, right? And you claim to be in your logic. Can you come back from the cap? Can you come back into reality? The reality is that you fell in love. You were the simp that you like to accuse people of being. You were that Mr. Nice Guy and you are entitled as shit and you don't want to admit it. And you need to start admitting it because you haven't healed. That's the problem here. You have not really gone through the process that it takes to heal. You're not facing reality. You claim you got the red pill, but you're not facing the reality that the feminine energy don't give a shit about your feelings. And you're faced with the truth and you're having a hard time accepting the truth for what it is, right? So let's go back again. Is it the exception or the rules? It's irrelevant. So now this young man came on stage and I asked him and I tried my best to try to, I literally have to freaking almost goddamn simp to these motherfuckers, right? To get them to understand what I'm trying to say. And what I mean by that is I'm patient. Because honestly, I lose my patience sometimes. I'm human like everybody else, right? So, and I'm like, okay, wait, let me ask you a question. Because you already said the exception. He said, what do you think about the answer of the young lady? And then he goes into defense mode. What do I mean by defense mode? Okay, some of you don't get it when I say defense mode. Defense mode didn't mean I'm defensive. He didn't say that. He didn't say that in words. I'm talking about, because some of you, I need to spell it out for you, right? His energy showed the feminine energy. He lost his masculine frame. Instantly, he felt attacked, even though I tried my best. He read it as condescension. He read it as me being condescending, right? So, again, we're dealing with a serious problem in this society right now. Men need to step it up, right? Stop bringing the stupid manosphere talking point. Let's have a conversation. Ask more questions. Stop talking out of your ass. Ask more questions, because I'm asking questions as well. You need to do the same thing. All right, peace. Sorry about that. I just noticed that I was muted. But yes, you saw that video. Society will judge you off of everything, especially the exceptions. You know, the blind spot, the one you're not paying attention to. Right? That's actually, as a man, you probably will be judged. Like, look at Will Smith. Majority of his life has walked that straight line. He has a moment of exception. He doesn't get to say, yeah, they judge me off of the majority. It's another stupid talking point. Stop saying that. Don't use that as defense anymore. You need to pay attention to the exceptions even more so, because guess what? You're always competing, and your competition is paying attention to the exceptions. Okay? The person paying attention to the exception may be the person taking your woman next. All right, be guarded when it comes to this talking point. So that one is debunked. Don't bring it up again. If I hear it again, I will send you back to this video. Okay. All right. So let's see here. How are we doing here? We're almost done. We got a couple of things that I want to make sure I cover. This guy right here. This guy, August Alsina, right? August Alsina. That's his name. Right. This guy right here. You know, I was about to do a video and ask and say, is this guy the new Superhead? Right? Because over the last few days, some people were saying, oh, it's about to put them on blast. It's about to basically put the family out on blast and do a tell-all book about the sexual moves of Jada and all this kind of stuff. Like, wait. Men are not so, they're now so feminine, they have to become the new Superhead. A lot of manosphere would like to denounce August Alsina as bullshit. He's part of you, okay? He was angry. That's why I put up that shit in the music. But I have to give him some credit right now, because he actually came out, and let me see here if I can find that video. He actually came out and basically denounced that he's not doing no damn right all book. He said, what would be the need to write a book about my supposed sex life with anybody ever in life, when they've written several fantasies, hypotheticals, and fictions based about me on Wattpad? If you're looking for that kind of entertainment, go read those. Read the book called Holy Bible. Is that a shot at Holy Bible? While you're at it, for whomever created believe this lies. I'm just living my life, trying to create peace from all the glass and broken pieces of hearts in the life of my own and ones connected to me. Lastly, why would one look to make that type of money, eating from the lowest of fruit, when God's promises great harvest? I'm God's very own, so he makes me rich, not just in spirit, be blessed. So just in time, when I was asking that question, is it the next Superhead? They put this out. I'm like, oh, okay, all right. So hopefully it's on the right path. Everyone makes a mistake. You know, he was a lover boy, just like the majority of the weak men in the manosphere. Fell in love with the wrong person, somebody's wife, thought it was going to save her, right? Some people do that, and we're just all humans. Relax, okay? Stop taking it so personally, okay? These people are good, right? They have a marriage. They made a boo-boo at the Oscar. They're going to be fine. It's not a matter of the worst case scenario that you're trying to paint this picture to be. I can almost guarantee, but I can't guarantee it. I'm not like you, right? I can't guarantee. They could come out tomorrow and say, you know what? The whole manosphere were right all along. And I will honestly say, you know what? You're right. I made I missed it over there, right? So no, August Alsina, he put out that statement. It's not the next Superhead, but there's a lot of men, ladies. If you want to mess with somebody, be careful, because there's a lot of men that will absolutely beat Superhead at her game right now. Everyone thinks it's equality. I can do what a woman can do. It used to be the opposite. women can do what a man can do and even do it better. But now men are saying we could do like, it's kind of weird, but that's just where we are right now. You have men complaining bitterly about women, literally spending 5 hours on live streams talking about how terrible women have treated them and not coming up with any kind of solutions. That's where people are right now. It is what it is, but hopefully they change. Now, I told you some of our videos went viral. One of the videos that went viral was this video with Mr. Justin OBIDI, right? KORRA OBIDI's husband. But I had this comment that came in from there. Let me blow this up. I'm not sure, is this person white? I've noticed that some of the white comments from the white people, I could be wrong, you know, they tend to be a little bit more biased towards Justin. And I thought I made this clear that this was not a biracial issue. This happens in all relationship where a man is too weak and then they start to call out this woman. He goes to social media to cry to strangers that don't really give a shit about him. But you know, this happens anyway. But anyway, she had to say this was a story of a young lady, KORRA OBIDI, a dancer. You know, I did a video about it. The video went viral. I talked about it earlier. Basically, the husband who married her while she was dancing, it looks like he tried to change her. It never worked. It doesn't work. It never really works. Right now. You can try to change people. You can influence people, but that takes a lot of. You have to be secured in yourself, right? So anyway, it says I think KORRA needs to worry most. She says KORRA needs to worry most. There's a huge amount of video footage that will all go against her, including her telling June she will beat her. June is their daughter, I'm guessing, right? Now, it's become a crime to say I'll beat my daughter, right? I don't know. It's only white people that can say this kind of thing, right? But let's keep going here. I think he's speaking, letting his frustration out because he's been quiet for far too long. So he decided to come to the internet to put his family on blast because he's speaking out of frustration. Kind of like how Will Smith did. How did that work out for Will Smith? Terrible. See, again, women will show empathy generally. That's just naturally for most women. But men, it's a setup for failure. Don't fall for it. Okay? Don't fall for it. You got to be careful with that. Okay? It's nice to have women show empathy to us. It's nice. It's cool. It's all right. But relax. Okay? Relax. Take it for what it is. But you're not... the society is not going to tolerate that from you. Okay? As a man. Okay? So she goes, she's so fake day in and out. We just have another person assuming. It's just assumptions. Right? Because she showcased a lot of their stuff online, so people thought they knew them. Well, you thought you knew them until just a few weeks ago, right? When everything blew out to the surface. You don't know shit if you're on the outside. I don't care if you're their mother or their husband or their father or their mother or their uncle or their auntie. You don't know if you don't live with them. You just don't know what you don't know, okay? Pretending to be something she's not. No. Well, I can't believe people can't see what is right in front of their eyes. I will high five you for saying... I would high five, yeah, white people will say that. That sounds like something that white people would say, right? He's like a little whiny bitch, though, as though he's how he's coming across. Clearly, he's been her little bitch for so long. He's perfected it. He's allowed himself to be a little bitch. A lot of time, women are completely oblivious to how you've allowed yourself to be. I'm not exonerating them. I think women should be aware. I'm just saying, as a man in this society, you really cannot afford to count on a woman allowing you to be a leader. You need to be a leader or not. It's really that simple, right? So I answered her, I said, exactly, Janie. He is not necessarily wrong. This is nothing I say he has ever. Everything I say is, number one, easier said than done. Second of all, it's never about right and wrong. It's about what's going to create the best result overall. Okay, but it doesn't look good. Are you saying she has better emotional control? I was asking her. At least with respect to not dragging her family in public, you call it fake, right? So when you decide to have self-control, some people interpret that as you're fake. They think you're trying to be fake. A lot of men do that. You say, hey, you need to get your shit together. Stop blaming men. They say, hey, you're a simp. right? That's basically somebody say, I am a victim. All right. So she goes, yes, in public, KORRA definitely has more emotional control. Although we have all witnessed her crying before. She can cry. Even men can cry. It's about what are you crying about, right? Then also, secondly, is the society tolerating that you are crying? Now, you may say, no, don't do what according to what society. The problem with that is that it affects all of us. How we're judged in society affects all of us in one level or the other. It doesn't mean you couldn't do what you need to do at any point in time, but just be aware, right? Because if you're not aware, if you get like this surprise shocker, like, oh my God, society judges men better. Well, that's your fault. You should know that already. Okay. The reaction is actually what makes it worse, right? So she had that to say. I just wanted to point that out again. Men or women are different because of the way we're socialized. Okay, partly socialization, partly biology as well. But I'm speaking more towards the socialization part of things. I think the biology is obvious. We don't need to. Everyone agrees on that, right? If you want to do something different from the way we've been socialized, you better know what the fuck you're doing. I will keep saying that, okay? Because again, swimming against the trend is not your best leverage point. You need to understand how society works and then use that in your favor to create the results you're looking for. It's a skill set, okay? It's a skill set. So here's another comment. This was about Will Smith, from Chidima. Shout out to Chidima. Oh yeah, by the way, shout out to Jenny and Z. Thank you for the comment. Here's another one here. Somebody says, this was on the main channel. The other one was on the Clips channel. Please make sure you're subscribed to both channels. Chidima says the only reason that Will Smith wasn't arrested was because Chris Rock didn't want to press charges, but the LAPD was ready to act. Well, why didn't Chris Rock want to press charges is the question. If this was a random rapper, would Chris Rock want to press charges? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe, right? I think it has a lot more to do with that. It's because it's Will Smith. We don't want to admit that it's okay. It's all right, right? I don't know him either, but we all agree that this guy is a powerful guy in Hollywood. Come on. Let's stop the cap. I think your viewpoint is very sentimental because it's Will Smith. Like you said, I may have come off that way. It's possible. Remember, we all judge things based off of our biases, our way, our outlook on life, our reflection. Maybe there's some things I could connect with. It's possible. But again, results will tell over time, right? Like you said, Will Smith has put out It's All Business for Us to See. That's true. Have you read his recent book? Yes, I have. That is where the analysis from some of these men are coming from. And I think all what they said is right. This is never about right and wrong. Will Smith was wrong, but this wasn't about wrong. I say that all the time here, right? We let the courts, we let the LAPD, all this, the police, the laws, we let them determine what's right and what's wrong. We try our best to do what's right and wrong, but the cap there is that we do that based off our standards of value, how you were raised, your particular character values, your own moral compass, which can vary from people to people, right? It varies from people to people, but the society judge you on the same rules. So you better be a little bit wiser than your own set of moral compass, because life will punish your ass if you're not paying attention, especially if you're a man. But Chindima is a woman's name, so I'm guessing that's a woman. I could be wrong, but I think it's Igbo name, mostly Chindima are women. People look up to Will Smith, especially other men, so it is a big deal. Yes, exactly. That's precisely the point I was making, right? To whom much is given, much is expected. Absolutely. And I think I dragged him as well, but I dragged him for what he was wrong about. Slapping random people because he overreacted for whatever reason, He was trying to do it in the name of protecting his wife, but it was still the wrong move. It wasn't a well-calculated move, right? But anyway, if a president or governor did the same thing, they would get same reaction. So Will Smith and Jada shouldn't get a pass. Absolutely, I agree. They didn't get a pass. But also the people I'm not allowing to get a pass are a bunch of lames on the internet who are making talking points that are not making sense. Remember, this is not a gossip channel. I'm actually extracting real life lessons for men, especially here, right? All right, good. For me first, okay? These are the lessons I'm getting. Then anyone who wants to can share. So I said that's correct, Chidima. That's actually my argument. He is Will Smith. Chris Rock's choice is a function of the fact that he is Will Smith. And yes, I read the book. which part of the book are this analysis coming from? None of these people read the books. I can guarantee you that. Okay, and that's what I meant, right? And she comes back. I'm jumping through right now. Jada is his wife. So yes, while we can hold Will Smith, now this is a woman talking, and a woman is basically ready to tackle a woman. It's a little weird sometimes, but I understand. It's a woman holding women accountable. Some of these men's dick get hard when a woman is holding women accountable. I get it, but you don't need to do that, Chidima. Let's focus on the topic itself, right? So she says, hold Will Smith accountable. She can't be let off the hook. Well, she didn't slap a person. And this is the part that was confusing to me. He did it because of her. She didn't slap a person. That's not how society works. Only women get to say that. And Chidima, it looks like you're a woman. That's why you're saying that. Men don't have the luxury to say, she made me do it. You don't have that. You're going to self-sabotage and destroy yourself with that mindset. That's what women are expected to do, not men. Oh, why can't we do it? You're a man. If you want to do that too, change to a woman. All right, good. He did it because of her. She was there when it happened. Let me ask, well, I already debunked that. They were holding hands and they were a part of that scenery that no one ever showed, right? And wait, let me ask a question. She asked us a long question, but I guess what I could pick out of the whole long thing, just so I don't bore you out, is we both agree that Will Smith will regret this. Just Will, not Jada. People can drag Jada all they want. As long as she's mentally strong, she'll be all right. Thanks for advocating for men. I could see this as a woman trying to advocate for men. We can always appreciate that. But in a lot of ways, it's not helpful for the men in society. That's part of the things that's actually, in actuality, emasculating men. Men need to be men. We don't need the sympathies. We don't need the empathies. We need to be men, because leaders, as a leader in a society, you don't have the luxury, okay? You benefit more. It's worth it. The benefits are greater when you stand up as a man and you remain a leader without asking for permission from women to allow you to lead. All right. So to answer your question, my past behavior, because she asked me, okay, so she asked me, that was a question. So let me ask you a question. If you, so the question was important, right? If someone abused you in front of your wife and you wanted to punch him, would your wife just watch you go up there to fight? I doubt it. Oh, wait, she's answering her own questions. She will likely want to diffuse the situation, even if it means dragging you. Well, the rest of it really doesn't matter. I answered it like this. To answer your question, my past behavior for the past 18 years she's known me is not consistent with slapping people out of overreaction. Similar to Will Smith, right? So if I did, she as a good or bad wife, meaning it doesn't really matter. Because again, I'm not exonerating Jada. I'm just trying to stay focused on the point at hand here, right? She wouldn't know what I was going on that stage to do, much less stopping me. Even the securities in that building did not know, because Will Smith never carried himself like that, right? I accept your assumptions. So I'm basically letting her know I realize his assumptions. And thanks for the comment. I appreciate Chidima, because these are the smoke that I need to really, really start to extract some of these lessons out. And I feel like we benefit more by, not just being an echo chamber. I like the idea that people can disagree with me. I like the idea that it's not always clear, right? I like the idea that, it's not all one perspective, but we can all learn together. You can listen to what I have to say. Let me just say this. Thank you for everyone that stopped by. Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you. Always excellent content, my friend. Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you. I appreciate you. But yes, this was a good session. Please subscribe to all the channels. Just go to the homepage and subscribe to all the channels. Hopefully you've been enlightened and educated. I'll see you on the next one, and peace.